Thank you, Dr. Yogesh, for giving this opportunity. So this is an FDP program, Faculty Development Program on Universal Human Values for Student Induction, organized by NIT Patna. So I am Hari Kumar. I am an associate professor in mechanical engineering at NIT Warangal. So I've been into universal human values and related content, and I've been part of this induction program for quite a few years. So with that experience and then my own learning, I'm sharing whatever I have understood by it. So as the previous speakers have been mentioning, so let me repeat this, though there, and let me warn you also, there will be some repetitions. So it is deliberate and we feel the content has different layers. So few things have to be repeated, and that's how we have planned it. Okay, so the approach what we are following in this UHV, Universal Human Values, is that whatever I'm going to say, right, whatever is written on the slides, whatever is said here, told here, please take this as a proposal, right? Please take this as a proposal, as an input from our side. So please do not assume it to be true. Don't just like blindly believe what we are saying. At the same time, please don't also say that this is wrong, just like that and all. So please verify. So please give its due respect and verify on your own right. And it is possible to verify. So how do we verify? What can be the filter? What can be the test? How can we be sure that something is right, something is wrong? I'm going to elaborate on it, but that's the approach we are going to take in this workshop. So it will start as a dialogue, right? To start with, I am presenting here as a speaker, as a facilitator, and you are listening. So it's a dialogue between you and me. So I'm asking certain questions, bringing your attention, requesting your attention to some aspects of our life or certain reality. And the request is that please pay attention to this. So initially it will start as a dialogue between me and you. And then expectation is that the naturally what will happen is that it soon becomes a dialogue within you. I'm asking, let's say, do we have some innate needs? Like, is happiness an innate need of every one of us? First, I'm asking this as a question, and then you are reflecting on it. But later, then this question, this process of investigation going inside you. So this becomes a dialogue within you. So you are having a dialogue with yourself. So that's the idea of this program. If you are able to start this process in you as a participant, and you tomorrow expectation is that you start this process with your students, with your loved ones, with your relatives, and then it's a success. So that is the idea of this program. Idea is not to inject the knowledge, but at least start this process, the exploration process, right? So far a few speakers have spoke. So particularly Professor Pradeep spoke yesterday, and after that we had one more session. So the basic human aspiration, the one point. See, when we wanting to do something, our objective, right? The way when we teach a course, there are certain course outcomes. It's very clear what actually we want. So similarly, what is the objective, the aspiration, or the goal of our life? What is that all of us want? At a surface level, it may look as if everybody wants different things, but then if you investigate a little further and then look into it, you'll find out that actually the basic aspiration of every human being is, all of us are wanting to be these two things, that we want to be happy, we want to be prosperous. The happiness and prosperity are the two parts of a goal of all of us. And then we can ask further, so do we want to be happy only for some time or all the time, right? So then the answer is that obviously I want all the time. I do not want unhappiness, right? Absence of a happiness even for a short time. So the happiness is required all the time, right? So happiness, prosperity, and its continuity is the basic aspiration of the human being. We are going to look in detail in further slides. right? This is the basic aspiration. So we can keep this as a common reference point and build around this. Okay. And what is the purpose of education? See, you are there as a teacher. I'm there as a faculty, right? All of us are, faculty members at some or the other college in science, engineering, arts, social sciences, whatever, right? What is the expectation from the education? So at the title of the slide, you see the basic aspiration and expectation from the education is what, right? So you see the basic aspiration from the education is what is one is expected, right? What is expected of a educated person, right? Is that he knows how to be happy, he knows how to become prosperous and ensure its continuity. So our education is expected to train people, right, that facilitate this development, right? That a person will know how to be happy and will be able to live like that. That is the expectation. So hence we have to spend some time, and then it becomes important that we spend some time in understanding the aspiration, right? We don't even know what is the aspiration of a human being, but then we are working all the time, and then how do we expect that something is done rightly, or wrongly? So first part is to understand what to do. First of all, unless I do understand what to do, I cannot be sure of how to do, right? Then the question of how to do comes later. So understanding what to do, understanding the what to do part is one aspect of the education, and learning how to do is the second aspect of the education. So the question is, do we need both of them, right? Or only one of it, right? So when I'm asking these questions, please respond in the Q&A. So you have a small window where you can type your comments, your questions, your answers, right? So I'll be looking at them. Please type in the Q&A. So even before we set out to work, right? Now all of us, you are sending your children to the school. What is the expectation? Right after that, then 10th and 12th, right? And then there is a graduation, there's a master's. We are doing all this. So all this is what for we are doing, what for I am working, day in and day out. Without that clarity, what I am doing, I may become, very busy throughout the day. I may be working very hard, but then if I lack this clarity, what for I am doing, right? What is that actually I want to do? If we don't spend time on it, but keep ourselves busy in how to do better, or do something or the other, then we may actually, end up doing a lot, but still missing at the actual goal. What is the actual goal? That is, I want to be happy and prosperous. And same thing may happen to, our students, our children, and hence, a lot of dissatisfaction in their lives. On one side, it looks we are busy, we are doing a lot, and there is a lot of development. But if you look at the bigger picture, whether whatever I am doing is every day, is it contributing to my happiness, my feeling of prosperity? Then there is a question. So the reason is we are not spending enough time on understanding ourselves. First of all, what is the basic aspiration of a human being? So this part, right, understanding what to do part, is what we are calling as value education. Is value education. Once I understand what to do in life, and then I learn how to do. That is technology, engineering, skill, science. These things come here. The first part is value education. The second part is the technology, the how to do part, right? Again, what will be the priority between these two? What will be the priority between these two? Right? First, I learn the first one or the second one. Right? What will be the priority? Right? So let me see whether you are responding in the chat. I want please respond in the chat when I'm asking these simple questions, right? So then I would know like how much whether I'm reaching or not. Please, yeah. So what will be the priority? Obviously, first if you want to reach some destination, where you want to reach, that should be clear, right? before you set out, whether I go by walk or go by car or go by another vehicle, right? The destination has to be clear. So with some exploration, you can find out that understanding what to do, the value education part is the higher priority compared to the technology part. But then you can see what kind of importance we are giving to it in the education. Thanks to recent development, now there is a good emphasis given in the form of universal human values courses in the curriculum and the induction program and many other places, right? And then we ourselves lack this clarity and think that spending time and effort, some giving some space to value education, we feel it uh, as may reduce our focus on technology or something. But whereas it so turns out that there is a nice complementarity between these two. In fact, when my value system, when I have good clarity on what to do, the technology I develop, right, the how part I am going to do, it's going to be a completely different. It will be much more holistic, much more sustainable, much more environment friendly and all. So otherwise, if I lack the clarity at clarity and then less and emphasize on understanding myself, we are going to have problems, and then the technology may develop, but then it may not be complete. So this complementarity need to be understood, and appreciated. But then we all understand, right? We all agree that something is missing in the education, and then something needs to be done. So this much we all agree. But then who is responsible for setting it right? Right? Who is responsible? Obviously everybody who is playing a major role, important role in the society is responsible. The first the child, when the child is born, is the responsibility of the parents and the family members. Large things are picked up by the children, right, at a young age, from the parents and the family members. And then comes the formal education, that schools, colleges. And then comes the society, in which you have this media role models, the movie star, the sports persons, because everybody is getting influenced by these role models, right? So this is a responsibility of all of us. But we all know, right, whether if we ask the question, are we as a parents, all of us, most of us, if not all of us, have children, right? Are we paying enough attention to our own children? When I think about my children, am I concerned about their grades, marks, their job, and then their ability to earn money in the future? Or am I also concerned about the remaining aspects? Right? What am I concerned about their value system? Am I ensuring that they know responsibility, they know courtesy, they know respect, they have gratitude, they have honesty, they have integrity? Am I doing something about it? Wanting it is something, and putting effort is something. See, I want them to be educated, so every single day I drop them at school, buy books and pay fees. But similarly, what are you doing so that there is a feeling of gratitude in my child, there is a feeling of, there is a integrity in my child, there is honesty in my child, right? There is the clarity in my child, right? So are we doing or not? So this is what, giving importance to understanding ourselves, this is what value education is about. So same thing happens in the role of a faculty member, as a teacher. Apart from teaching my regular subjects, whatever we have to do, am I being a role model to them, like that? Am I worthy of a person to emulate, right? Am I teaching them with my behavior, right? Am I giving enough importance to this value education part, developing the clarity in them, having a good relation with them? This is what about giving importance to value education means, right? Similarly, when you have a prominent position in the society, or the other members of the society, everybody is expected to put a content that is in public domain in a much more responsible way, right? The society plays a important role. But then we know that all of them, all these dimensions, whatever we mentioned here, whether parents, the family, the parents, the family members, the formal education, the teachers, and the society, everywhere there are gaps, right? Things have gone wrong, right? At all these stages, right? But then how to set it right? Where do we start? But then without waiting for anybody else, any organization, any policy, any parliament or assembly to take a decision, what we can do is, we have to start, with ourselves. Wherever we are certainly in more than we are certainly in more than one role. I am a father, I am an individual, I am a member of larger family, I am a faculty member, I am a member of the society. We have multiple roles. So wherever I have an opportunity, right, so I can do this. I can contribute to the development of my children, I can contribute to the development of my students, I can contribute to the development of my department. So much opportunities are there. So we can start wherever we are. And the proposal here is that the most effective way is work in higher education. I know it is important, it has to be worked out at the school level, in the personal family level, in the society also. So in higher education, the people are mature, students are mature. For most of them, more than 90% of them, this will be the last degree they do, because the minor percentage only goes for the higher education. So since these people have the last opportunity to go through the education, who are going to be professionals and the future parents within less than a decade, 5 to 10 years, they will be parents, right? So it is very useful exercise to do in the higher education. So that's why we are starting in the higher education by AICT and the UGC, and this UHV courses and the induction program hence is made mandatory, a big policy decision, and hopefully this will bring a good changes in the education within our country, right? So what will be the process, right? So we know that already in the education people have tried this moral education lessons, many such efforts have happened. So what is that we are now trying to do through this UHV, right? Is this how it is, we think has worked at some places and is likely to work, is because of this. So the idea in the UHV is that, so everything whatever we are going to say, we are going to put forward this as a proposal, right? So a proposal. So whatever we say in the slides is a proposal. For example, just now I said, so do we need both value education and technical, the skill education, right? Both or not. So this is a proposal, just verify. So do you think value education is required for human beings? So does it sound acceptable to you? If yes, right, you verified on your natural acceptance. So we are using this word called natural acceptance. Natural acceptance. So this the word is natural acceptance, but what actually we are referring to is that every human being has this capability to verify a proposal. A proposal means some aspect of the reality, some idea is told to you, is related to your life, and then you can look into yourself, that is, you can ask your inner voice, your conscience, right, whatever you call it. You ask yourself and find out, ask and listen to the answer. You'll find that the you always get the correct answer. Just ask for yourself, ask to yourself, is respect acceptable or disrespect? Is respect acceptable to you or disrespect? Which one is acceptable to you? Which feeling is acceptable to you? Respect, right? So do I have to consult some external source for this, a person, a book, or a YouTube video or whatever? No, you are able to verify inside and say that this is right. So similarly, say being happy is acceptable, unhappy is acceptable, eating food healthy is acceptable, unhealthy is acceptable. Now the beauty of this is this, that even if we act against what is acceptable to us hundreds of times, thousands of times, but then innate nature does not change. What is acceptable? Healthy food or unhealthy food? Healthy food. But then are you eating healthy all the time? No. Have you eaten unhealthy? Yes. How many times? Hundreds of times. Again, ask the question, is healthy food acceptable or unhealthy food? Healthy food. So even if we are acting, hundreds of thousands of times against our natural acceptance, against our nature, our innate nature, that is not going to change. That is the beauty. So there is an uncorruptible, unchangeable, right, thing thing is there inside us, so with which, which support, with which, we can travel further. We can start our inner journey with the help of that particular aspect of the human being, which is innate in us, which is not changing with time. Even if you practice against it, thousands of times. That's the beauty. So that is one of the breakthroughs in this content. So we are not telling people to please behave like this, eat like this, do like this, don't do like this. We are not going to say this. We are going to say this. Please consult yourself inside, look in inside. Whatever is acceptable, do like that. Let's say person is shouting. You just request him that what is acceptable to you. Is it shouting acceptable, or behaving with a feeling of relationship is acceptable? A feeling of opposition is acceptable, feeling of relationship is acceptable. So whatever is acceptable, do according to that. Right? You may not have a capacity as of now to according to your natural, your natural acceptance. But then only when you act according to your natural acceptance will be happy. In fact, the entire happiness is about live such a way that is naturally acceptable to you, not live according to somebody else. Live such a way that is naturally acceptable to you. What is, acceptable to you? A healthy lifestyle or unhealthy lifestyle? Healthy lifestyle. Do like that, you will be happy. Which behavior is acceptable? Having feeling of relationship with everybody, or feeling of relationship with some people? Feeling of relation with everyone. Do like that, you'll be happy. It's as simple as that. Now we are not referring to anything else here, you see. So that is the proposal here. And then verify even this proposal, the whatever verification process I'm talking about, self-verification process I'm talking about, please verify even this process. Like, you want this particular process, or a list of don'ts and do's, like a user manual for life you want. So even question this process also and see which is acceptable. Okay, so proposals are coming, so you verify on your natural acceptance and take it. So as we say in our research, right, in education, that you verify the proposal intuitively and you find that it is acceptable. And then what do? You conduct an experiment. That is the right part. Conduct an experiment. So some proposals are related to the behavior part. Some proposals are related to the behavior part. And some proposals are related to the work part. Okay. So behaving with respect, right? Having a feeling of relationship, they are related to the behavior. So if respect is acceptable, have the feeling of respect and behave with respect. That should lead to mutual happiness. If it is leading to mutual happiness, then your proposal is right. If not, your proposal is wrong. Discard it. Don't follow it. And related to the work. So how do you work with the nature? If my work causing to harmony in the nature and it is leading to the mutual prosperity, and then that way work is right. If not, if my work is causing certain harm to the nature, it is not in tune with the nature, and then that is wrong. So verify the proposal. This is filter 1. So let me call this F1. Filter 1 is verify on your natural acceptance, and then you have filter 2. So in the filter 2, so you have two parts. So 2A with concerned with the behavior with people, and 2B, F2B, filter 2B is behavior with the, work with the nature. So this is the approach we are going to follow in this course. So when we do like this, a deeper right understanding develops inside. So you can call this as a deeper understanding, or you can call this as a clarity. You can call this as knowledge, whatever we want. So we do like this, take these proposals, verify on our natural acceptance and live according to that. And the outcome of it is a deeper right understanding, the clarity develops in us. So that is the process of this entire human values workshop, or the course that we are going to have in our curriculum. Okay. So then the same questions. So is this kind of process is acceptable to you, or you want a process of do's and don'ts, right? You can ask for yourself and find out what kind of process is acceptable to you. Okay. So this process actually is a process of transformation, right? You explore inside, you are exploring inside, you are investigating inside, right? All the time you are aware what is happening inside, right? Is this acceptable to you? Whatever I am doing, see, now this workshop is going on, am I paying full attention? Like, what kind of thoughts I have? Am I attending sincerely? On one side, I have want to attend sincerely, but I'm not attending sincerely. We live with this contradiction. That's it. We are in a state of unhappiness. So if you pay attention to inside, explore this little bit, and what is acceptable? Attending this program sincerely is acceptable, or somehow escaping is acceptable to you? Attending sincerely is acceptable. Am I doing sincerely? Then it will lead to, happiness, right? So this is what a process of transformation. The more and more your behavior, your work, your inside processes are aligned with natural process, natural acceptance, and then the better and better is, your happiness. So this is this process itself is a process of transformation. Okay. Yeah. So now let's pay a little more attention into what do we all want, right? What do we want? Let's examine this little further, right? What is the core objective of all of us, right? So let me this can be called as a desire, chahna, right, in Hindi, or we can call the what is the aim of us, what is the objective of all of us, what is the purpose of all of us. So I'm taking a few examples. Maybe this is repeated by previous speaker, but I will keep it brief. So all of us want to become something, or we want to get something, or we want to do something, right? Let's say a doctor. Take an example of doctor. So I want to become a doctor. So now we are requesting, please answer, why do you want to become a doctor? See, when we are asking this question, does not mean we are saying anything, right? Like why do you want to become? Don't become a doctor. We are not saying that. We are just saying, please pay attention and think about it. Why do you want to become doctor? I want to become doctor because I want to do service, and I'll get money, I'll get respect. Fine, that's fine. That's all good. Well, service is good, money is good, respect is good. Further, we are asking, please tell me, why do you want to do service? What motivates to have more money? What motivates to respect? And then you'll further investigate. You will find that, by doing service, I'll have satisfaction. I will have contentment. By having money, I'll be able to, buy stuff. Buy stuff. What do you do with the stuff? I'll get some enjoyment, some happiness. Okay. So then where is it heading? Happiness, satisfaction, right? Contentment. So by getting a lot of respect, what do you get? You will feel good. What is that feeling good means? Again, happiness. So you will find that all the investigation leads to this thing called I want to be happy and prosperous. Similarly, what does an engineer does? Right? Again, money and respect is common. So here engineer makes stuff, make things. What do you get by becoming, let's say, engineering from an IIT and NIT, right? That person also makes things, maybe a different things, and getting little more. The extra plus you notice some extra money, maybe some extra respect. Through that, what is expected? Again, happiness and prosperity. So like that, if you just investigate further, now that we have many academicians here, right? So you are at different stages, and all of us look for becoming professor, associate professor, and professor. And just think about it. Why do we want to become professor, right? So are you what do we think we get, right? We get opportunity to teach. So thanks to flat academic structure in colleges, we teach anyway, right? So by becoming a professor, maybe we get to teach actually less, right? Or a subject of your choice. Okay. Then by becoming professor, do you want to become professor because you get and some admin roles, some administrative positions? Okay. Do we get more money, more respect? Please note that we are not trying to say that any of these things are wrong. I didn't say that, right? That is not mentioned in the slide. We're saying that let's just be think, right? What is that we are assuming? What is that we have calculated that by becoming like this, I'll get it? Because most of us have many assumptions. We have these notions which we have ourselves have not verified at all, right? And we just take it granted. Actually, you see somebody already got promoted. Is he happy? Is he more happier than what he was when he was associate professor and then assistant professor? It's not so. but then that's what we think, right? But at the same time, I'm not saying that don't don't work for becoming a professor. Please work for it, right? Please work for it. Work very hard. Achieve excellence in your profession. But the thing is that the goal of happiness, prosperity is much bigger than becoming a professor, becoming, uh, the opportunity to teach certain course, becoming, taking some admin position, getting some money, getting some respect. This is much bigger goal. So that we are ignoring and assuming the in between things, the intermediate stages themselves as the goal, and that's the problem. Let's say you want to, become a principal, a director of the institute, you want to become a vice chancellor, right? So what motivates you? Maybe you don't have to teach, right? You don't like teaching, right? No teaching, right? You want to become boss, right? You want to command certain people, right? You want to show your ego, right? And get money, more respect. So again, some extra pluses added here. But then by getting all of these, what do you think you will get? That happiness and prosperity, right? So like this, you can argue, we can analyze our goal. Even when we are teaching to the students, we can have a very open discussion about these things and make this distinction that, so this part, this part, the first two levels, these are all the steps towards the goal. They are all steps towards the goal, whereas this is the goal. The actual goal is to become happy. So to be happy. So there is a difference between becoming something, to be able to do something, to get something. You want to, buy a house, right? You want to get, a car. You want to become owner of certain physical facilities, right? These are all the goals. These are all the steps towards the goal. But actual thing, actually what we want is that we want to be happy and prosperous. That is the basic requirement. So unless we make distinction between these two, that this getting certain position, to be able to earn certain physical facilities, getting some reputation, are actually the intermediate steps. The actual thing is to becoming happy and prosperous and working on my transformation. Then we will be confused. Then we won't, the plan won't be clear. So having clarity at this level is the value education. This is what is understanding what to do. Okay. Now let me probe this issue of happiness and prosperity a little further. So, do we want to be happy? Please answer in the Q&A. Do we want to be happy? Do we want to be prosperous? So, do you want to be happy and prosperous only for some time, or do you want continuity of happiness? That is, always we want to be happy and prosperous. So please answer in the Q&A. Right now, the question is, that is what we want to be, but what we are we happy? Are we prosperous? Are we feeling prosperous? Is there a continue of our happiness and prosperity? Like, are you feeling happy all the time? Right, on the morning it's okay, but then when I come to office for, till lunchtime, I'm dull, and after that I'm right, I'm depressed, I have frustration and all. Then there's a lack of continuity here. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're unhappy. So what is the situation? Let me just see the responses in Q&A. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you that, many of you are responding. Right. Right. So is there a gap between what we are and what we want to be? Right. We want to be happy. We want to be prosperous, but what we are, right, is what we are is not what we want to be. I want to be happy all the time, but I am not. So there is a gap. So why this gap is there between our desire and our state of being? That is what is my desire, but that is what I am now. This is how I want to be, but this is what I am. So there is this gap. And the question is, what are we doing to fill this gap? What are we doing to fill this gap? And is this gap getting filled up or getting wider day by day? Is this gap getting the gap between what I want to be and what I am? What I want to be and what I am. Is the gap increasing or decreasing? Increasing or decreasing? Yeah, please answer. Do you notice a gap, and is the gap getting wider or narrower? Is gap decreasing or increasing? Many are saying yes, no. I don't know actually for which question you're saying yes, no. Is it increasing? I have asked. It can be little more clear in answers. Gap increasing. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So this gap is increasing. You know, when you were a child, how much was this gap? And then adolescent, an adult. Now you are, a middle-aged, right? Now you are a parent. Is this gap increasing or the decreasing? So this is what we'll explore. So why is it increasing? Let's do a diagnosis. There is a problem. Let's acknowledge that there is a problem. Now that's a diagnosis. We took an X-ray of our situation, right? Now let us look at it. Why this gap is there? This crack on the bone is there. We took an X-ray. We take X-ray of bones. Now we took an X-ray of our life, right? Why? It's because let us look at our effort, right? You are waking up in the morning, and then you're doing certain things, and then you're spending your 24 hours in certain way, right? Every day you're working for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, right? So am I working for continuity of happiness and prosperity, which is my basic desire, or are we working more and more for accumulation of physical facilities? What is the focus? Your effort, your work focus is what? Is it the more you're working for happiness and prosperity, or our focus is more on accumulation of physical facilities? That is, when I say accumulation of physical, is more motivated by the money. What is our focus? Right? If the second one is the focus, right? What is our focus of the work? Right? If the main focus is on actually the money, right? So for earning money, we are spending more and more time. Why do we do that? We are not mad, right? Definitely there is some equation in the mind. There is some setting in the mind. There is some notion in the mind. What is that notion? That have we assumed that the notion what we have inside is, have I assumed that happiness will be ensured when we have enough physical facilities? Right? So can we say that the more and more money we have, the more and more facilities we have, can we say that there will be higher and higher happiness? There will be lasting happiness? Can we say that? Can we say that more money means more happiness? Please answer. We cannot say. I mean, more and more not necessarily mean higher and higher, the happiness, more and more happiness, right? So this is what I was saying. See, but we have a very deep conditioning that the more and more physical facilities we have, the more and more money we have, the more and more assets we have, there will be more and more happiness, right? And that is how we operate, and that is how we are, educating our children, educating, our students, and hence we spend more and more effort in the money part. Okay, and if we are making some more effort other than for the money, right? What effort are we making for continuous happiness other than accumulating physical facilities, right? So these are the questions I'm putting. So please contemplate, please think about these questions. As I said, the process, right? So exploration inside is something we are expecting to happen in you, right? So are we really doing anything other than accumulation of physical facilities, right? If at all we do anything, what do? We drink coffee, we drink tea, we eat samosa, right? we eat michi bhaji, right? So these are all trying to be happy through sensation, tasty food, or you try to post something on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Insta, or you try to be in a position where everybody says congrats, congrats to you. So these are all trying to get attention from other people, attention from the other people. So when we lack the clarity, we are seeking for happiness from these sources, either by sensory pleasures or feelings from the others, other people appreciating me, other people recognizing me. We are depending on the other people. Either you depend on the samosa or you depend on the other person. Both are samosas only, right? This is what we feel are the sources of the happiness. But then physical facility is necessary. We are not saying that don't work for money, right? The money is required, all the facilities are required. Of course you need food, of course you need clothing, of course you need a house, you need a vehicle, you need a phone, you need a laptop, you need a computer. See, all these facilities are there. That's why I'm able to talk from from a city in Telangana, Warangal, and you are there at your place and thousands of kilometers away. We're able to do this. Physical facilities are necessary. But then once we have these physical facilities, we forget about it, right? We forget about it. They do not, for example, see, whatever facilities we have, we think that, okay, they are there. So you don't feel, you don't have a big feeling that I have this much, right? What actually, happens after you have the physical facilities is this. Let me show you, three category of people, right? We can put the people into, three categories. Say category 1, category 2, and category 3. The first category is where you have sufficient, uh, you do not have physical facilities, insufficient physical facilities. So category 1 is we are lacking some physical facilities. So you need some things, but they are not there. And then there is no happiness in life. That is category 1, right? This is category 1. Now another category is there are physical facilities, but then I'm sometimes happy, sometimes not happy. My happiness itself is a question, right? I may not be happy, I am happy sometimes. There's a question mark. And the third category of people, I have enough physical facilities, I am happy also, right? So where do you want to be? In 1, in 2, or in 3? Where do you want to be? Where you want to be? Where do you want to be? So you want to be at category 1, 2, or 3? Right? So naturally, you ask your natural acceptance. So you'll find that we want to be at 3. We want to be at 3, right? We want to have sufficient physical facilities and we want to be happy as well. Okay. But where are we now? Please look for yourself. I cannot, put you in some category. Please verify for yourself, right? Where are we now? Right. If I am in category 1, yes, I have to put effort to gain physical facilities and I have to work on happiness also. If I am in category 2, yes, I have to recognize that I have sufficient physical facilities and I have to work on the second aspect, that is happiness. Happiness cannot come from physical facility. Even it comes, it is temporary. I need to get more clarity on this. So something more is required. What more is required over and above the physical facilities, right? If we are here, we are talking about this category. If we are in one, right, we are not talking about, the that category and that situation. One has to work, right, and actually get, money or physical facilities, whichever way it's possible. So we are talking about a category where there are physical facilities but the happiness is not there. So if the physical facilities need is taken care, right? So what actually causes worry? Why the happiness is not there? So then we can, for that we can look into our families, right? We can look into our families. Let me go back to the question and answers. I want please all of you to reply. Yes, I got reply. Yeah, Ravi HK, so you are doubtful whether messages are reaching or not. We are seeing all the messages, don't worry, right? Okay. Okay, so let's see into our families, right? Our families, and you can even see into our department. So the issues are more to do with the physical facilities or the relationships. So do we have issues in physical facilities or relationships in the family or in the department? Where do you have more issues? The unhappiness in the family, you know, is due to what? Let's say in your department or in your family, right? When I say in the family, it is immediate family or extended family. Issues are due to what? Relationships. More due to relationships or physical facilities? Relationships. Lataji, Shobhaji, right? So I can see in the institute. Yeah, relationships. Right? Relationships. Dr. Sargunam says relationships. Yes. Right. Relationship. Right. So we have got, quite a bit of answer. So the issues are there to lack of relationships. But then how much time are we investing in the physical facilities? How much in the relationships? Right? Where are we investing more effort? So in the family, so you have certain relationship issues. Let's say your wife is not happy with you, your children is not happy with you. So what do you do while going home? Right? You take some sweet packet along with you, or you buy a chocolate for your child. The issue is the feeling. He's not happy with you. You are not spending enough time, or you had a fight with them, or you have scolded them. The issue is at the level of relationship. But what actually we do? We try to substitute the requirement of the relationship, fulfillment in relationship with some things. And that's how the requirement for the physical facility goes up. So there are some issues in the family. We think that it is due to physical facilities. If I have more money, right, that will be solved. If I spend more and more money, if I give money, if I give more clothes to my family members or more gifts to them, we think the problem will be solved. But try giving them, again, the problem is still there. Right? You cannot solve the problem of relationship with physical facilities. You have to work directly on the relationships. But how do we work it? That's what we are going to do. Right? As of now, we are not doing that. The unhappiness is more due to fulfillment, lack of fulfillment of relationship. But most of the time, we are spending time, effort in physical facilities. That's the trap we are in. Right? So hence what we are saying here, right? We need physical facilities. We also need relationships. Without that, you cannot achieve the basic target of the continuous happiness and the prosperity. So we need to focus on physical facilities. We need to focus on relationships. Can we ignore relationship and completely focus on the physical facilities? That whatever problem comes in the relationships, I'll solve with the physical facility. Is that possible? No. Right? So both are required. We have to work explicitly on the both of them. Right? You cannot substitute one with the other. Right? So with other human beings, no, we want to live in relationship, but every time we have a fight, we want to resolve it. We say sorry, promise not to fight, but then again it happens, right? Every time, we don't want to fight, in the family, you don't want to fight with your husband, you don't want to fight with your wife, you don't want to fight with your brothers and sisters, but then it happens once in a while. Why is it happening? So is it the problem is always with the other person? And what is the other person thinking? He thinks that you are the problem, right? What is actually lacking is that we have not understood the dynamics of the relationship. There are some aspects in the relationship which were not understood. For example, you can have an argument with somebody, let's say your child, right? And then we think that it can be solved by giving them some item, some physical facility. If that is the level of clarity I have not understood relationships, right? Somebody is unhappy with me. If I think that I can make them happy by giving some reward, then I have not understood relationships, right? So we have not understood this relationship. So this understanding is what we are calling as a right understanding. Unless we have this right understanding, we won't be able to have good relations at all, right? Only when you have right understanding, with that clarity, when we conduct well in the relations, that leads to mutual happiness. I will be happy, the other person will be happy. When I understand this relationship, it means I understand what is meant by trust, I understand what is meant by respect, I understand what is meant by gratitude. So when I understand these feelings, accordingly I behave, that leads to mutual happiness. Similarly, I can be in a state where I have a lot of physical facilities, let us say, but then do I have the feeling that I have enough? I don't have it, let's say, right? So here we are talking about a situation where physically I have a lot of things, lot of stuff with me, but mentally I feel that I'm poor. So this mental poverty, the psychology of the poverty, right, is something, is prevailing in many of us. There is stuff, but there is money in the bank balance is there. There is money in my account. There is a house to live. There is a vehicle and my body is healthy. But do I have a feeling that everything is fine? All the money, whatever I required is there? No. So it is completely a different thing to have physical facilities, but then the feeling of having physical facilities is not there. This is psychological poverty. So this is coming because I lack right understanding. But when I have right understanding, and with that, I assess my need for the physical facilities and see that I have more than required, then it leads to the prosperity. So the happiness and prosperity comes from summation of right understanding plus relationship plus physical facilities, right? So this is the basic point we want to put forward. But then if I am not paying any attention to relationship, I am not paying any attention to the right understanding, I am paying only attention to the physical facilities, then I am at the level of animal, right? So this is not living at the level of human being. For animal, this is enough. If you just provide the food required, it will just eat that food and chew and enjoy. Right? For a human being, in fact, all the problem starts after our stomach is full. When we are hungry, we are focused about the food only. But after we eat the food, then only our mind is thinking of 100 things. That's when the actual problem starts. So for a human being, this is not complete. But then if let us say we live at the physical facilities level, and then unhappiness is guaranteed. So we have taken an insurance policy of unhappiness, and we always going to feel that we are deprived. We are always going to feel that I don't have enough. I need to invest. I need to earn more and more, right? So the problem with the other person, that is the kind of mentality we are going to have. If I don't work on right understanding, I don't work, on relationships. So having this clarity that I need to work on all these things, working on this bigger circle, not on this small, or on this smaller circle. The small circle is to work at the physical facilities level. The big circle is to include the right understanding and relationship also along with the physical facilities. Remember that bigger circle is including the physical facilities. We are not discarding the physical facilities, undermining the value of it. But apart from the physical facilities, focus on relationship, focus on right understanding. That's what will lead to mutual happiness and mutual prosperity. And then this realization, this relation happening in a person is what is required. It's what is expected to happen through education. At the top of the slide, please pay attention. The role of education. What is the role of education? Whether you take national education policy of 2020 or earlier policies or as old as 1950 to 1960 education commissions, everybody said the same thing. Please pay attention. Education is supposed to facilitate this transformation, right? By default, in the beginning, the human being considers that physical facility is sufficient. In the evolutionary process, we have this notion in the beginning that physical facility is sufficient. Like an animal, we think that physical facilities is sufficient or physical facilities is the main thing. But human being means giving importance to relationship and right understanding also. So operating at this bigger circle with this all three things in the mind, all the focusing on these three things, putting effort for all these three things is what is human consciousness. This is, if I'm rising from small circle to the big circle, that is what is actually the development. That is what is vikas. That is what is transformation. That is what is progress. And the education institute is supposed to facilitate this. And the educational institutes, who will do this process? Does the buildings do? Does your principal does? Does your director does? Does your administration does? No, it is the teacher who is supposed to facilitate this process. The job of the teacher is to lift the students from this small circle to the big circle. But then when can I lift? I myself am the well, I cannot lift. I have to be higher outside the well, and then I will be able to lift the people, right? Unless I am at a higher level of consciousness, how can I help people who are at unconscious level, right? A lower level of conscious level. Hence, we as teachers have this big responsibility. We have to be enabler. We have to enable this transformation process, enablers of the transformation. That is the role, of a teacher, a role of an educational institute. And this is what is value education is about. Okay. So now little expansion on what is right understanding. So maybe first I'll take a few questions before I continue, right? Yeah, if you have any questions, please post. I'll wait for a few minutes before I add some content. Any questions? You can post some questions. Yogesh, the participants are able to post questions, right? Yeah, please feel free to enter questions in the Q&A box. Does natural acceptance vary with person? Evil man's acceptance may be evil. Yeah, that's a good question. Very good question. Lataji, you asked very good question. See, so let's verify with yourself, right? What is acceptable to you? Respect or disrespect? Respect. So is your answer going to change tomorrow? Will your answer change if you go to a different city? You are now here and tomorrow, let's say you go to a different city. Is your answer going to change? No. So this property, right? This nature, this characteristic of the human being is not going to change with time or with place. Now what you asked is, does it change with the person, right? It doesn't change even with the person. So you can ask, anybody, we can verify with anyone. It doesn't change. As I said when I'm explaining also, we may see others behaving against their natural acceptance. See, doing something for your health, is it acceptable? Yes. But are we doing? We know that, yoga or exercise or whatever you have to do for your health is important. But are you doing? No. Then can I conclude that you are some person who wants to be healthy? No. What you want, what is your desire is still the same. Still the same. So even an evil man, what we are saying is that currently his behavior, right? His outside expression is evil. But what is acceptable to himself is also is the right thing only is acceptable. So keeping that has, as a support, we can work even with that person also. Yeah. How good relation can maintain in the stressful present life. So stress is something we are taking. See, some things are happening outside, right? Some things are favorable, some things are not favorable. So as of now, what happens is, uh, since we are at a lower level of consciousness, we are directly affected by it. See, look at a child. Even if a small thing of a toy is broken, he is crying. But you are an adult, you know that it is not a big deal, you don't have to cry. Similarly, we are child, we are actually acting like a child in some situations. When something goes wrong, right? Whether it is related to the health, related to the job, right? Related to some opportunity, we are crying inside. That is what is stress, right? When we are stressed, we are not able to pay attention to our relationships. The most important thing is to, you know, be at a higher conscious level, focus more and more on right understanding in the relationship, right? Identify and remember, and then the understand that the physical facilities have actually only certain amount of role. They are not the most important thing of the life, and then we can come out of this situation. So how to fill the gap in a family of one person is having right understanding, the other person is not, right? So the questions related to the relationship will be taken from tomorrow onwards, but let me answer them briefly. Again, there are two things. First thing is that, am I getting affected? First of all, I'm assuming that I have right understanding, right? So let's question even that right understanding, right? So if let's say you have some a better understanding at least, and the other person doesn't have, am I getting affected by it? First of all, if I'm getting affected by it, then other person is not the reason. I have to work on myself first. That is point one. And then how do we facilitate the development of the other person? Once I go through transformation on myself, and then in the process you develop such a nice relation with that other person. When you say nice relation, it's not about day-to-day behavior and all, the feeling inside. Even when the other person doing 100 things wrongly, are we able to have good feeling towards that person? It is possible. With that kind of right feeling, we work with other person, the other person responds to us, in a much better manner. We will be able to aid the development of other person. How to develop relationships? Tomorrow onwards, please. Right? Okay, explanation is good, thank you. Is mutual happiness is complementary? The question is not clear to me. Yeah, whatever I understood, Ajit ji, so I can say this much, that when you say mutual happiness, happiness of myself also, happiness of other person also, right? So if I have the right understanding and behave accordingly, right, I'll be able to express my understanding in a much better manner to other person. When other person can see that something is right, and he will also be happy, and that way both of us, can be mutually happy, right? So how to stay motivated all time even after all things are not going your way? Very important question. In fact, there won't be a point in life where everything is going on our way, right? That point is not going to come, right? You're always going to have something wrong, right? But when you have this, deeper clarity, that how many things actually you need, sir, how many things you actually need, how many things are required to go in your way for you to be happy. Let things go wrong. Actually, our deeper our requirement of the things is so less. We are mixed up, right? We are messed up our requirements. Then you'll find that our requirement is so low, and the impact of things going wrong is going to be very less on us. Even if there is an impact on me, it doesn't at a body level, at a life situation level, but my happiness level, there won't be any impact, right? So it is all about living with consciousness, with awareness. There are any specific metrics to calculate happiness? Yes, sir. Just look inside, right? Are you being happy? You would know on yourself, right? You cannot have a thermometer, a BP meter to measure happiness. It's very simple, sir. Are you getting tired every day? right? By working on the things, by meaningful things, you are supposed to get energized. My day starts with at certain energy level. By end of the day, the energy is not expected to go down. The body may get tired at a level of the self. I'm still the same energetic. There is no up downs in my moods. There is no inconsistency in my behavior. I have transcended the level of liking and disliking. I am able to respect everybody. I don't discriminate on based on the position, based on the age, based on the gender. Right? This is all like, a state of happiness. A person with a higher consciousness and then a deeper understanding and happy person will not do these things. Okay. Thank you. What is the way to get right understanding in technical institute? What kind of action plans can we have? Yeah, so Professor Ravi HK, the idea in the higher education, as far as the students is concerned, we are starting with the proposal that there is a course. UHV1 is student induction program. UHV2 is a full-fledged course, a semester course, and then but more and more is to have this kind of environment built in the institute. When the teacher themselves get transformed, entire institute gets transformed, administration gets transformed, then there is a right environment at home. See, when your child will grow well, if you provide right environment home, it will be nice. So the environment in the academic institution should be good. But does environment come from buildings? That is, does it come from accreditation? Does it come from NAC? Does it come by your ISO certificate? Does it come from a laboratory? No, it comes from people. And people have transformed. They will be able to enable the transformation of the others, the students and the colleagues and your higher authorities or your juniors or whatever. Right? That's why the working with the teachers is a very, very important. Right? How to imbibe this consciousness, and that is the precise purpose of this workshop. How do we imbibe this consciousness in the students? We need to have this space. First of all, so far we have been, this induction program is the step one, right? We have, in the day one itself, we just used to have some welcome speeches and go and teach the technical stuff. But now at least we are, as a teacher, we are going to sit with the students and reflect on what is the life about, what is that you want to do, what is the important valuable things. Is the placement the ultimate thing? Is the package the ultimate thing? Or the core skills which are required for long-term success? We can talk about long-term success. We can talk about short-term success. You tell me who can be a leader, who can be an innovator, who will be a long-term success. The person who is focusing only on the technology will have a long-term success. The person focusing on relationship, on right understanding, will have a long-term success. We are not talking about students becoming saints. So these are the aspects we can discuss in the class, and then this is expected to facilitate consciousness development. Yeah, sometimes if you facilitate, they take it for granted. Dr. Sargunam sir, let them take it, sir. What is so big deal? Why are we getting affected by it? Let's do whatever you want to do it. Right? If something is working, work something else. Maybe some more capacity, some more improvement is required in us. We are not able to inspire them. Why to doubt them? I am at a level that where they are not able to, I am not able to inspire them. Right? So let's work on further again and again. These are slow processes, take time, and don't expect any immediate results. Thank you. Thank you. Is there any formula for consciousness, happiness, and prosperity in our lives which we can always count on? Yes, the human values is the formula, right? Let's take these proposals and practice in our life. Dr. Monica Patil, so thank you. So the human values is expected to, the UHV is expected to facilitate the process. So we are human beings. Shobha ma'am saying, sir, we are human. Yes, we are human beings. Human beings have the potential to do anything, right? They have a full potential. Every single human being has the potential to do, the miraculous things. That potential is there in us. How can we incorporate the basic values in students? Yes, first of all, if I have the basic values in me, and I live like that, and it reflects in behavior, not only in me and all the teachers, that environment flows, then we will be able to imbibe these values to our students, our children, in our colleagues at every place. So at workplace, you don't have choice to choose your work. Many times you spend your time day doing something which does not make you feel happy. How do you handle this situation? First of all, your happiness should not depend on the kind of work you do. My happiness is independent of what I do, independent of what people say, independent of this thing. The entire idea is about to transcend these things, transcend these things. And you will find that though now the idea sounds little utopian, little impossible to do it, you will find that you will attract more and more the work you like. The lot of the disliking work will go away, right? So you try to accept the whatever works you come to do your best. In fact, take the work which you dislike as an opportunity to overcome that I will overcome my disliking and do this work also perfectly, and then derive happiness from it. And then you will find that the liking disliking itself goes off, and then the even you will find that the work of your kind will come more and more to you, right? Thank you. How do we emotionally balance with respect to all extra? How do we overcome from the environment of negative thoughts? Everything, I think these questions are covered. Okay, so now I think I'll go back to the presentation and let me cover a few more things. Yeah. So the main thing I was trying to emphasize is that in life, right, the focus of our life, apart from the physical facilities, when we work with more focus on right understanding in the relationships, and my consciousness development happens, I'm at a higher level consciousness, that is going to lead a state to happiness and prosperity. Now come to this point. What is this right understanding? Every time I'm saying this right understanding so much, right? What is this right understanding? That's what I'll expand now. See, we are living as an individual, first of all, and then as a member of a family, and then we are part of a society. We are there in the nature, right? But have I understood myself, right? How I can be happy all the time? Have I understood the dynamics of the family, that how I conduct in the family, how I take care of the expectations of other people, and whenever I cannot take care, what I can do, how do I ensure mutual happiness in the family? Have I understood this? Right? I have understood the goal of the society, different dimensions of the society, my role in the society, how can I ensure my salary, how can I fulfill my goals, but still contribute positively to the society. Is working for society does not mean leaving or doing a charity. You do your job, but then still I contribute positively to the society. And am I mindful of the my state, that am I contributing positively to the nature? Have I understood harmony in the nature that already exists? Is my living in harmony in the nature? So when I pay attention and try to understand harmony that is already there in the human being, harmony in the family, harmony in the society, harmony in the nature, when I understand these things, that's what we are saying is right understanding. And then not only the understanding, right? We say that, okay, I've read these books, I know the logic, I know explanation, I can speak about it, I can write books on it, I can publish, papers on it, but am I living like that? That is more important, right? Right? As I said, we all know that yoga is good, exercise is good, eating healthy, but are we eating? So there is no point if you have developed the ability to lecture on health, but you yourself was not living healthy, right? There's no point, right, counseling others when I'm fighting with my wife, right? So understanding these our four levels of our being, and then understand living accordingly at all these four levels. This is our program. This is what right understanding means. So am I paying attention to deeply understand myself, deeply understand the relationship, right? How do I not have a hatred feeling towards a person, even if that person is lacking the basic etiquettes, basic courtesy, right? Is doing something wrong. Can I still have a feeling of relationship with him and work with him, and in time, have a good relation with that person? Do I know this process? Am I able to successfully do this? If I have not done, that means I have not understood some things, right? And similarly, I am able to maintain my balance, be composed, even when things are going wrong, up and down. If I understand this, I'm going to talk about this more and more tomorrow. My session is there, tomorrow also, about the how we can be balanced inside, even when things are going wrong outside, right? So when I pay attention and then understand all these things and live like that, that is the state of right understanding, right? That is the state of being happy, at all levels. But whereas what happened now, if you see, we already concluded that what is human being? Human being means body, right? When you look at the other person, we are looking at the other person as a body, right? And then we understood that, okay, we get more and more respect from clothes, more and more respect from physical facilities. So we equated respects to the clothes. We equated continuous to the unlimited. We said that, okay, I need continuous respect. I get respect from the stuff, from physical facilities. So how much physical facilities I want? Unlimited. So the need of the self, if you look at this first column, this column or the self, I need respect, and it is required continuously. From where I can get it, I don't know. I assumed that I'll get it from physical facilities, from position I will get, from job I will get, from money I'll get, from house, from car. And since I need it continuously, I need to gather it unlimited. Hence, I go on doing this thing only. There is no limit, there is no comma, there is no full stop here. And we are caught in a trap. So we are busy all the time in these physical facilities because we need unlimited. See, if unlimited is the requirement of one person, even one person also cannot be happy because whatever is there in the existence is limited. Any physical facility is only limited quantities there. So which means not even one human being can be happy in the entire world, entire existence. So that is guaranteed. Deprivation and unhappiness is guaranteed. So please check for yourself. Have we assumed that respect means physical facilities? Then we are doomed to be, face unhappiness and deprivation, right? So if we are at a level of the small circle and then moving to the bigger circle, is our target, right? So little more on happiness and the prosperity, right? So we are defining happiness like this. Happiness is state of harmony within oneself. The happiness is, see, you are in such a state, and if you like that state, and if you want to continue, we stay in that state, that is happy, right? Do you want a change of state? Inside, I'm talking about the inside. If there is a harmony inside, let us say you have, a feeling of relationship, there is no contradiction in the thoughts, you have contradiction. You want to attend this class, but something else is also there. You are not able to decide. That is a state of contradiction, right? You don't want to hate some person, but then you have a feeling of hatred. That is a contradiction, right? You want to, be healthy, but then you're not able to stop yourself but indulging in some tasty thing. That is a contradiction. If this is the state of your mind, this is the state of yourself inside, that is unhappiness, right? And similarly with the other human being, with the nature also. So staying in harmony inside is happiness. So if that we are able to ensure, independent of what happens outside, and this comes from having a deep wisdom, love and compassion inside, right? And of course necessary physical facilities. You cannot be happy without the physical facilities. You need food, you need clothing, you need vehicle, whatever requirement you have, those are required. So when we are able to ensure this harmony inside, then there can be a continuous happiness, right? Otherwise, as of now, we have ignored this completely, that by ensuring harmony inside, I can be happy. This part we have ignored. What are we thinking? By sensory pleasures, by having some tea, coffee, by having an ice cream, by eating something, I can be happy. Yes, you can be, but it is temporary. So these are outside sources. Ego, by satisfying ego, you dominate that person, you say things certain way, and then you can be happy. You tease somebody, right? You're teasing somebody, right? Then you can be happy. But that's all temporary, right? And every such thing has a side effect. You want to dominate, right? See, going to a higher position means what? You want to be boss of some people. Just check for yourself. Do you like to be bossed? Do you like to be subordinate of somebody? No. But then why do you want some subordinates under you? What feeling they are going to have towards you? Obviously, it's the opposition feeling, right? But then we are craving for all the time for the higher position, right? We are trying to get respect from the others. These are all outside sources, whether it is some stuff or some people, outside sources. And when that is not possible, you eat something, it is there, you feel nice about it, then you see that, again, you're getting bored, you're not happy, then you switch on TV, you're looking at your phone, you're looking at the news, right? So these are all escape, these are all escapism. Your escapism from yourself. From where you're escaping? Inside you are not happy. There is no harmony. You are running away from it. How do you run away? You switch on the phone. You look through your emails. You look through your social media posts. That is escape, right? You escape, right? You face depressions. You want to eat more. Even if you are not hungry, you sleep more. All these are, escape ways, right? We try this because we have not understood that happiness is about ensuring harmony inside. That part we are not understood. Hence we are running after the below things, the red color things. We are not understood the above the black color things. The same is the situation with the student. If the student is not listening to the class, he is posting things on WhatsApp, he is posting things on Facebook by sitting at the back benches. What is he doing? He is doing the same thing. He has not understood the top block. He understood only the bottom part, right? Similarly, the prosperity. So we have stuff, but we feel that we don't have enough. Why? Because the prosperity is about a feeling. The prosperity is about the feeling of having more than the required facilities, right? So what is required? Let us say that quantity is X. What I have, let us say that quantity is Y. If you have a feeling, that Y is greater than X, X is your requirement, right? Y is your what you have, whatever you have is more than the required thing. That kind of feeling, if you have, only having is not enough, right? Many of us, right? How many clothes we have? More than what we require. Even if you have 3-4 pairs, it is more than what is 3 or 4 pairs, it's more than required. But what do you do next year? You buy more. We are sure that we have to buy more, right? Why? Because we are not figured out how much actually we need. So if I have this feeling, and then I always going to feel that I don't have enough. So I'll be running after the stuff. I want to gather more, collect more, shop more. This is what is going to happen. So for that, what is required now? I have to identify the value of X first, and then also see that value of Y. So identification of the need. What is my need, right? See, any physical facility, PF, physical facility, what actually it can do, the physical facility is good for only three things. One is the nurture of the body, nurture whom? Nurture body, my body. Protect, right? Sorry, I'm writing with the mouse. Writing is coming in very badly. Protect, enhance the body capacity. Enhance, right? So let me take 1 or 2 examples. Let's say food, right? So let's say roti, right? You are eating chapati, right? You are eating rice. So that is going to nurture your body. Let's say footwear, let's say shoes, right? It is protecting your body. Let's say phone. What is the phone doing? See, I was talking to Dr. Yogesh, your coordinator, right? From here, I am able to talk to the somebody sitting in Patna, Bihar, thousands of kilometers away. But whereas my body capacity is to just talk such a way that it can be heard only few meters, few 10 meters, 20 meters. But then through the phone, I'm able to talk to a person which is thousands of kilometers away. So it is enhancing the body. So any item is good for nurture, protection, enhance. So phone is communication, but what is the iPhone for? What is it adding? Right, it is adding something else, right? So like anything physical facilities, this thing. So if you lack this clarity, what we think that from physical facilities I'll get happiness. That is what I'll feel. iPhone is to get happiness through physical stuff. Why do I think like that? I am lacking right understanding. If you have right understanding and right feeling, you will be able to identify the right quantity, X value, the correct X value you will find out. And then you will ensure that you produce or you buy whatever it is, whichever situation you produce the required. That is, this is X, but the right X you have to find out. Then you ensure Y. Right, and then you're going to have the physical facility. But then we don't have right understanding. The RU, the right understanding is not there. I'm trying to get happiness through physical facilities. Hence, my value of the X is, confused. I don't know the value of the X. I keep on increasing the Y, but the Y is never greater than X. And then I feel deprived. And hence I cannot help anybody. I cannot donate. I cannot share my things, whatever I have. I cannot, spend time for anything other than gathering more stuff for myself. And that is the state of deprivation, right? That is the happiness, and prosperity. That's where the greed, corruption, accumulation, indulgence, all these things come, right? We have enough, but we feel we are poor, right? Okay, so that is what I have from my side. We have 5 more minutes. I'll take questions. Yeah, I'll take questions. Please post your questions. We have 5 minutes. See, Dr. Vasan, you're asking, is it possible to have happiness also, unhappiness also, right? The unhappiness itself is not having happiness. How can you have both happiness and unhappiness at a time? But then we may have patches of happiness, unhappiness. Sometime I'm happy, sometime I'm unhappy. That is because I lack clarity, right? I'm still depending on outside developments. If that is the case, I'm going to have cycles of happiness and unhappiness. Okay, so please type your questions in the Q&A. I take them and answer in. What is the responsibility of the self towards the body? Dr. S. Rani. Yeah. So what is the responsibility? The self, the body is an instrument of the self. I'm a human being. I am self plus body, right? The responsibility of the self towards the body is what? What is your responsibility towards the phone? You want to use phone. You have to keep it charged. You have to ensure that it doesn't get broken, right? Its life increased. You have to utilize it properly. Similarly, the body is an instrument for the self. Self has an objective that it wants to be happy. It wants to understand everything. Right understanding is required. But for a right understanding, to be able to do good things, the body is required. And I have to keep the body prepared for that. Prepared for that. So the health of the body is important. The condition of the body is important. When we understand this, I put the body for the right use. I have a lot of responsibility for the body, right? Hence, I don't use body for my temporary pleasure. I work with the body with a lot of responsibility. So, okay, I hope that answered. Is it necessary to maintain relationship at the cost of self-respect? Self-respect. So you define, sir, what is self-respect? What is self-respect? You define first of all, right? In relationship, what is you want to put, right? See, one level is you are happy, but the other person is not happy. That is level 1. Level 2, you're happy, other person is also happy. Level 2. Level 3, you're happy, other person happy, the society is also happy. Level 3. Level 4 is you, other person, society and nature happy. Which level you want to be? Level 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We want to be level 4 if possible, right? So when it is not possible, when your capacity is limited, you can temporarily park that problem. But then still it will be nagging you, isn't it? As long as the relationship is not good with the other person, even if you postpone it, it's going to nag you somewhere, right? So it is only possible to be happy when you have good feelings about the other person, right? Yeah, how to overcome inferiority complex if you see someone is doing better than you? Yeah, it's a very good question. Many students suffer from this. Many of us suffer from this. So as of now, what happens? See, inferiority itself means what? You are evaluating yourself. You are evaluating other person. So you are giving some marks to yourself, some marks to the other. You will find that your marks are less than the other person. That's why your confidence is depending on it. Now the thing is that on what basis I am giving the marks? That is the point. I'm going to give marks based on the clothes they wear, the language they speak, their grades or their job, their car, their house. All of these are temporary. All of these are, very least important stuff. As you understand the human being, you'll find that the self of the human being is the only thing that is important. Right? So you evaluate other person on the basis of self. You evaluate yourself also on the basis of self. The body is all temporary, right? So at that level, everybody is actually the same. Nobody is less than anybody. Nobody is more than anybody. Everybody is the same. So this paradigm shift needs to happen inside. When that happens to me, I won't be looking at other people as body, as somebody who can speak, as somebody who have some career achievements, as somebody I'm able to see other person, human being, as a self, and that every self is the same. That is how I can come out of it. I'm changing, completely changing the game, right? This comes from the right understanding. How to strike balance between happiness and physical facilities? It's very simple, sir. As I said, any physical facility is required for only for three things. What? Number one is nurture of the body. Number two, protection of the body. Number three, enhancing the capacity of the body. So only these three purposes are there for any physical facility, whether it is a pen, whether it is car, whether it is house. What is the purpose of the house? Protection of the body. Anything you are trying to derive from the physical facility, you are gone. You may go for all kinds of decorations in the house, right? How the decoration is going to help you to protect your body more? Any decoration in the house, will it help towards nurture, protection, enhancing of the body capacity? If yes, go for it. If not, drop it. So that's how you can put a ceiling on the physical facilities and spend more and more, right? Give higher and higher priority to the relationship and the right understanding, right? Is it possible to change the human greediness? Yes, it is possible. The right understanding is the key. If there is a right understanding, immediately I feel that I have more than required. I actually need very less, and the greediness just goes. And the same person will start sharing with everybody, right? Most of the time we can easily suggest and say, but it is possible to really follow. Yes, it is possible. See, if you don't follow, who is going to suffer? See, you want to eat healthy food, you are eating unhealthy, right? Who is going to suffer? Yourself. You want to come out of suffering? Yes, there is an innate need in every person to come out of the suffering. Nobody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Sorry, nobody unhappy. So even if you don't follow it, every single day somebody is telling you from inside, please follow, follow. If you don't listen to yourself, there is always a reminder. The nature has arranged you reminder. So you try doing anything against the nature, you are going to be unhappy. There is no possibility that we work against the nature. You may just postpone it few more years, maybe one more, birth, but then we have to focus on this. Thank you. Is happiness only achieved by getting physical need gained? You decide. Do you think somebody who has enough physical facilities is going to be happy? You verify for yourself. Can we say happiness depends on the way we use physical facilities? Lataji, see, again, as I said, physical facilities are there for nurture, protection, and enhancing the body capacity. If I start using physical facilities for the happiness, they're going to give some glimpse of happiness, but it's going to be temporary. There is no continuous happiness. So the way to use physical facilities, I use physical facilities for nurture, protection, enhancing the body capacity. I eat for enjoyment. Yes, you may get something, but there is a side effect. I am depending on it. Number one, it's not going to ensure the continuous happiness. Number two, it's most likely, since you are making a choice of a food item based on the taste, not based on the health, it's going to have some side effect on you. You ensure both health and taste, it's good. You use innovation, right? Like our mothers cook, they cook very tasty food, very healthy food. It's nice. But you try to put higher priority to the taste. Which is higher priority, taste or the health, right? So coordination is better than competition. If you say this, do you have competition exams? Right? You plan it, sir. When we design a system where we don't have to compete. As of now, the problem is that since there is more and more focus on the certain kind of studies, because certain kind of studies give more money, there is a competition. When we understand this, when this clarity comes, and when you create opportunities, thanks to this COVID, now if you go virtual university, any number of students can register. What is the limit? Reservations can be taken care, numbers can be taken care. And IIT Madras recently introduced a BSc program where 20,000 students are there. So there is an innovative ways to do this where you don't have to even have competitive exams. Why to have exams? You put a bar for a graduation and whoever fulfills, they'll get it. Okay. Most of the students are from rural areas and they are not able to concentrate in his studies. How to motivate them? While counseling, they accept after few days they are back to the pavilion. How to overcome this issue? We have to work continuously, sir, with them. We have 4 years, 3 years, 4 years of degree. We have to work with them. Coming from rural area is not issue. These issues can be there in any person, right? As we prioritize more and more this right understanding part, relationship part, and have this regular dose of these sessions, we have to make this mentoring there is on paper in most colleges, but then we don't take the mentoring seriously. We have so much of files to do, so much of paperwork to do. We don't want to work with our student. We don't have time for our student. We have time for everything, right? Give time for students, excellent results will come. So the generation wants prosperity. Is it necessary for survival for fittest? Survival for fittest, sir, by definition, somebody is fit, somebody is not. Somebody is surviving, somebody is not surviving. That by definition itself is not acceptable. So you yourself ask a question. Do you want competition with other person or cooperation? Do you want relation or opposition? Survival the fittest by definition is assuming opposition between the people. It cannot ensure happiness at all. It's a wrong theory. Professor Puneet Kumar, how to break the barrier of misunderstanding relationship, even if you go down compared to the other person? Very important question. Relationship questions, all I'm postponing to tomorrow. Tomorrow session is going to have a lot on relation. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow. How do we relate Maslow's need or hierarchy with UHV under discussion? So please correlate yourself, sir. Right? We have proposed this also. You know the Maslow also. You compare. Right? We are saying the basic need is happiness. Right? So basic need is happiness. Of course, the physical facilities are required, and then the happiness. Both are required. Right? Both are required. Right? How to manage with always arrogant student co-worker? Yeah, Dr. Mohanlal sir is asking how to manage arrogant co-worker. Sir, I feel that, as long as there is this thing called response and react, as long as I don't get affected by others' arrogance, others' misbehavior, others, improper things, first of all, they cannot continue that arrogance at all. As long as I'm getting affected by, then only they'll. In fact, it is other way around. By my behavior, by my balance, the other's arrogance comes down. It is just a matter of how powerful inside I am. What is level of my living, right? May I know your formula for happiness? The formula is very simple. Whatever the right things are there. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to his inner voice. My inner voice tells me that be healthy, pay more attention to your family, pay attention to the relationship, do things which are naturally acceptable to whatever you're supposed to do, everything. Do not postpone, the don't succumb to lower level sources of happiness. The real sources of happiness is ensuring happiness inside, not going from outside, right? So I spend good amount of time on myself every single day, right? I spend about 2 hours on my own routine to ensure this, working on more and more on right understanding, more and more on relationship, taking care of the students and the family, right? So that ensures our happiness. So why does AACT doing something they're saying, right? Because AACT people also the same thing. That's why we are making that, all AACT staff also goes through the UHV. Don't worry, everything will be fine, including the chairman Sastra Budaya has gone through the UHV, things are going to change. Right, Guru from SIT Tumkur. As of now, we are concentrating only on engineering student. Whatever the others, yes sir, everywhere it is required. I am in engineering, I am doing it. Let others do the others thing. So it is being done at a school level in Delhi, for example. Entire school education it is done UGC and through the UGC. All other non-engineering, science and arts, everywhere it is done. So it's going to come in the education in a very big way. Thank you. The dynamic change in the value of money is the main reason that we feel physical disease. No, sir, Ravi, sir. No, the value of the money is not the problem. It is the, our clarity that is the problem. Is that not we are having the clarity? No, if you are in any profession, with time your money is also, increasing and all that. But then just pay attention how much of it is actually is required. If you stick to nurture, protection, enhancing of the body, how much is required will be very clear, right? Okay, thank you. So I think I'll have to stop.